live stream to appear on YouTube. It's currently open in my phone. So I'll start once I see my face there. Okay, so CS102 says that it started. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live session of social networks. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat window. So if you are in the Zoom meeting, you can type them in the chat window here. If you are listening to us on YouTube, then you can put your questions in the chat window of YouTube. I see there are 6 people on YouTube as of now. So till today morning, I think we have received 2 questions on the form that we have shared. So we didn't get a lot of questions. I hope that's a good news. Everyone is understanding what is being taught. So the first question was about the change of city. So unfortunately, I'm not in a position to answer the administrative questions. If it is something to do with your exam city or some change in your registrations with NPTEL, so I request you to correspond to the NPTEL team. I guess you would already have a link, so you can do that here. Another question was related to the exam. So will Python implementation be asked in the exam or not? So you might know your exam will have multiple choice questions, the similar kind of questions you see in your assignment. As per se, there won't be any programming assignment. So you will not be asked to code in the exam, but you might see a few Python questions which are again MCQ based, or you might be asked a question on some function of Python which is used again and again in the course. But as such, you need not know a whole lot of iGraph and implementation to answer the questions in exam. So basically, you won't be asked to code. So that is about the exam. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. So we have Prathamesh, Samruddhi, Vidya, and host Rider, and Dr. Ayasami. So I guess all of you have taken up this course. If you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, Rutuja is there with us. Rutuja, do you have any question? So one suggestion from my side might be, so once you have completed this course on social networks, one question which people generally have is what after this? So I have one suggestion. So maybe after this, you can pick up this branch of research or studies. It's called graph neural networks. It's quite popular these days. So this course will give you a decent understanding about graphs. You'll mostly know everything about graphs which is out there, the kind of things which researchers work on. So once you have done this course, and if you have knowledge about neural networks, so graph neural networks is one of the great things that you can pick up after this course. And to learn graph neural networks on YouTube, there is this playlist by Joe Leskovec. So I'll type the name in the chat window. So the course is named Machine Learning in Graphs. So all these videos, they are freely available on YouTube. So do take a look at that after the course. And if you are well versed with neural networks, even if you are not, that would be a good start in something, in the direction of something which is more popular today. Okay, any questions? 19 people on YouTube. Any feedback regarding the course, any difficulty, anything else that you might want to share, any feedback or suggestions? I hope you guys are not struggling a lot with programming implementation. So we have used, at that time when we recorded the videos, we did it in, I guess, Python 2.7. So some functions might have been changed here and there. So I hope all is going well. Okay, Suraj says the name of the YouTube channel. Suraj, it is, let me see if I can type in the chat window here. It is called Machine Learning in Graphs. So that's the name of the playlist. It's by Stanford University. So somehow I'm unable to type it in the chat window. Let me try from my system if I can do it. Give me a sec. It is, let me see if I can type in the I can do it here. So this is called machine learning with graphs. Okay, so any other questions, any other technical question or any other question with respect to the course? Otherwise, I guess it's going to be what the shortest live session till now. So maybe those of you who are here, maybe you can tell me a bit about yourself and why you took up this course and what are you planning after taking this course? Yes, Dr. Ayasami. Go, please.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Dr. Ayasami.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Dr. Ayasami from Tamil Nadu. HOD CSE, Alagappa Government Polytechnic College, Karaikudi. I am interested to learning social networks. So, now I joined and studying.
That's great.
Yes, but a little bit understanding is very difficult. Some mathematical functions.
Sorry, I couldn't get you.
Yes, ma'am. Theory part I will understood. I was understood. Ma'am.
And what about programming? How are you finding it?
That's why mathematical calculations a little bit understood is difficult.
So it can help you to take a look at this. I think it might be mentioned on course website. I'm not sure. So there is this book called Networks, Crowds and Markets. So it's very beautifully written. So it is one of the best books I have seen in this area. So maybe you can take a look at that. So maths is very elegant there and they have tried to make it quite easy. So maybe that can help you a bit there.
Oh, sure, ma'am. I understood. Then some assignment questions also, ma'am. Direct question means it will be easy to understood what you ask, answer, easy to understood and answer it. But mathematical questions, some twist you asked.
Yes, so you see, you might be knowing this. We as professors, so all of us do that with our students. Yeah. So I saw you posted one question. So I'll get back to you on that. So maybe I'll leave my email ID in the chat window so you can directly reach me. So as of now, I'll have to take a look at that question. I just got that now. So it will even take me some time to solve that.
Sure, ma'am.
Even back on that.
Oh God, ma'am.
So this is my Gmail ID. Saurabh says the Zoom link is not working.
Ma'am.
Yes.
One more thing. I am someone, maybe our participants studying from other than IIT. So IIT is number one, but I am studying in even Tamil medium and also Annamalai University, you know, ma'am?
No, I heard of Anna University, but not this one.
Annamalai University also there, located in Chidambaram, Kadalur district.
Okay.
Okay. Studying there, now associate professor in Annamalai University. But it's practical. That's again I tell you, it's a practical session, little bit difficult. That's why.
Practical session.
Yeah.
So,
Theory part I understood. Your class is very excellent.
so when it comes to programming, it becomes
Sudarshan,
difficult.
yes, difficult. Okay, ma'am. Congratulations, your presentation is very good.
Thank you, sir.
Sir's presentation also very excellent. Yes, ma'am. It's Sir presentation also very excellent. It's the first time I will talk to IIT persons. IIT is very dance, like very gods like.
So I have done my PhD with professor, and so initially I took up this course I think in 2017. So that time I was the teaching assistant for him. So just like Meenakshi is helping us now, and then with the time I became a co-instructor for this course.
Oh, other persons also may be waiting for asking questions.
Yes,
Sure,
sorry,
friend.
No, Shivani, you won't be asked Python implementation in the exam. So you might see a few questions which are based on Python functions, but as such, you won't be asked to implement anything in Python in the exam. So all the questions will be MCQ. You won't see any coding based questions.
Okay, ma'am, you talk to me or some other one?
So I was answering this Shivani Jaiswal's question.
Okay, ma'am, your
Shivani,
mail ID.
Will the Python implementation be asked in the exam?
Ma'am, your mail, please type mail ID. YYT.
My email ID is yytgpt. So just like this chat GPT, it is yytgpt at gmail.
At gmail.com.
Okay, Karthik says, till now social network course by busy in college academic classes, I create a big backlog, how I cover. Karthik, I guess what you're asking is maybe you haven't seen the videos till now and exams are soon to be there. So how do you prepare? So maybe what I can suggest you is, you see most of the videos, they are pretty easy. So you can try watching them in 1.5x mode. So do some meditation, get focused, and then you can do that quickly. I think that's the best way I can answer this question. And if you face any troubles, you can always write to us on discussion forum, or you can directly talk to me on my email ID. Yes, Shivani, it will be MCQ. So all the questions will be MCQ. You won't have any written questions or any coding based questions. Okay, global knowledge says how to increase networking. Okay, how knowledge graph works in social networks, Saurav. So Saurav, again, to answer your question, I'll just ask you to take a look at this course called machine learning in graphs. So that will help you understand how the knowledge graphs work. Right. How to increase network in LinkedIn in our domain? So it's sort of a marketing based question. So I've been researching on this topic. So how do you make an information viral? So my work is sort of theoretical. You try to identify who are the influential people in a network and try to connect to them. So you can talk to a marketing expert for it. And definitely these days, this idea of nano influencers is getting a lot of hype in marketing, right? So maybe you can explore that further. Samruddhi says, how can we prepare for the exam apart from assignment questions and videos? So we feel that assignment questions and videos will be sufficient. Apart from that, I'm not sure, but there are some third-party resources who make available these previous year NPTEL questions in the form of some YouTube videos, or you might find some of the GitHub notes on our previous students who took this course in the last semester. So just try to explore that. You might find some of that, and that can help you prepare. So I'll see if I can just float some questions on the discussion forum for practice. But what we feel is programming videos, sorry, the course videos and assignment questions, they are more than enough for you to go through to do well in the exam. Any other questions? Karthik, I hope I answered your question. Means I answered your question. I hope you are satisfied. So Saurabh says, what are the scope in this domain? So scope. Oh, Meenakshi says that we are already posting one question every day for practice in forum. So I think that all of you are good to go that way, right? You already have one question per day, one practice question per day. Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you for responding. So scope in this domain, it's mostly related to online social networks. So there is this area of research. Again, you can take a look at it. It is called link prediction. I guess we would have touched that slightly in this course. So it's mainly along the lines how Facebook recommends you friends, right? So whenever, or let's say people don't use Facebook much these days. So let's say Twitter or LinkedIn. So how do they tell you who you should be friends with, or whom would you want to follow? So that's one thing, link prediction, who will be your next friend or which person should you follow. Similar kind of approaches, they are used by websites like Amazon and Netflix to recommend you products. So that also have a, so there are actually, you might already have heard the term of recommendation system. So there are two kinds of recommendation systems. One is content based. So I take a look at what you liked in the past and I suggest you similar products. There is another kind of recommendation system which relies completely on the idea of graphs. So maybe you can note it down. It's called collaborative filtering based recommendation system. That works on the idea of graphs. So basically, you create a graph between people and the products they are buying. And whenever I have to recommend you a product, I take a look at which your friends, right? Basically, people who are similar to you, which kind of products have they purchased. So I use that network to recommend you products. As someone said, right? Someone was asking about these knowledge graphs. They are used a lot. So all of you might have noticed this feature Google came up with. So whenever you search for any prominent personality or something in Google, nowadays you'll see that small knowledge box, which tells you everything about that personality. So you don't have to go to any particular link. So so Google utilizes knowledge graphs in order to do that. So that's one of the applications of this area. There was this discovery, which is called AlphaFold, I think. AlphaFold. So take a look at something. It is called protein folding problem. So it's a problem which comes from biology. So scientists, they work a lot on solving, on looking at the proteins which cause cancer. And protein folding problem was one of the problems which even biologists were not able to answer nicely from 1960s onwards. So take a look at AlphaFold. It was an algorithm which came up in 2020 utilizing the idea of graphs and basically machine learning in graphs, the course that I'm suggesting you to solve this problem. So there's like a lot of scope in this field. Karthik says, how do I cover? I don't know any coding language. So Karthik, so probably you should pick up on one or the other coding language. So coding is a must today. You see, no matter in whichever domain you work, it's not just about social networks. If you plan to work in machine learning or algorithms, anything, learning coding is must, and to learn coding, you can take another course. It is called Joy of Computing with Python. So I'm self-promoting here. So that will help you learn programming in a fun way. But jokes apart, on a very serious note, it's absolutely important to learn programming. And take a look at ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you a lot today in learning programming. So first figure out what ChatGPT is, and then use the tool to learn how to code. Similar kind of questions will be asked. So in exam, whether the questions will be repeated from assignments or will use a similar type of questions? No, so we are not going to repeat questions at all. So you won't find the same questions or same questions with modified parameters. All the questions you'll see in exams, they will be new, but they will be similar. Himanshu says example of power law or scaling law. So you see this power law or scaling law, it just talks about a distribution. So I'll just rephrase what was there in the video. So basically we are talking about distribution. So think about this height distribution or weight distribution in the world. So it's mostly what a binomial distribution, right? So most of the people, they have an average height or an average weight, and then there are very few people who have a lot of weight or quite a big height, or very less weight or very less height. So mostly you'll see that bell-shaped curve, but think about money distribution in the world, right? So money distribution follows something which is power law. So it's not that money is like uniformly distributed among people. It's not like most of the people have an average amount of money, and then there are a few people who are poor and then a few people who are rich. It's not like that. So money is very unequally distributed in our society. So they say like it's what 10% of the people holding 90% of the money. So that's what is the power law. So if you plot this money distribution on a curve, so it looks like decreasing exponentially. So that's one example of power law. And you see the same thing in the course in the light of a degree distribution, how popular people are. Great, Karthik. Good to hear that. Mohit says, what will be the pattern of final exam? So the pattern of final exam will be same as the questions that you see in your assignments. Right? So you'll see multiple choice questions which are along the similar lines as you see in your assignments. Okay, Jagan says, I hope no coding will be asked. No, you won't be asked to code anything, but you must be familiar with some of the most used functions in Network X. So something which we are using again and again in programming illustrations, we might ask you that, but we won't ask you to code something. Welcome, Mohit. Okay, I'll wait for more questions. Alti says, are programming questions enough to prepare for final exams? I won't put it like, assignment questions. So I won't put it like assignment questions are enough to prepare for exams. Assignment questions are enough to give you an idea of what will be the difficulty level or what kind of questions you will see in the exam. Right? So there might be, so you see a video is full of some concepts. So let's say there is a video in which we talked about 10 concepts, but in the questions that we asked you in assignment, we might have picked some 4 concepts out of that, let's say. But then in the exam, you might see some other concept, right? So that way, I wouldn't pose it like that. Assignment questions are enough. You should look at all the videos. You should be aware with the concepts. There's this big post by Jagan. So I guess it's more of an information, Jagan, and not a question. I'll take a look at it. Right? Okay. Saurabh says how social networks work in supply chain. I don't have an exact idea about supply chain, but what I can comment is on a product, is on a project which is something along the same lines, not exactly supply chain. So something I was working as a postdoctoral fellow at IIT Delhi. So we were looking at all the companies and firms which are in India, and we had certain kind of information. So I'll come to that, Jagan. I'll come to that. So we had this information about all the companies and their CEOs. So we had CEOs which were a part of multiple companies. It's called interlocking directorates. That's a separate thing. Another thing that we were working with is the money exchange between the companies, or basically something we call it subsidiary companies. So you see, any such kind of a network, it can also be between banks. So you can always portray it like a network, isn't it? Let's say one bank A takes loan from bank C, or let's say bank B, right? I don't know what's a good example. I don't know much about banking either. So let's say ICICI takes loan from Axis. So you can have two nodes. One is ICICI and Axis, and you can put an arrow between them, right? Like a directed graph. And then you can put in a lot of banks here with a lot of arrows, and that can tell you a whole lot about this banking system. So people have tried to study recession this way. I remember in 2008, there was this grand recession where I think few companies went down very badly. And if someone wants to study, if some company goes down, what impact will it have on the entire clan of companies in the world? So you can study that with the help of graphs and modeling. What happens if one node in this graph dies or goes down? So I think you'll see a similar thing in supply chain. I think it's supply chain is mostly about who is supplying which product to whom. So you can always model that information in the form of a graph. So look at something, it is called robustness of graphs or resilience of graphs. So if I were to attack a graph, which are the nodes, if I kill them, the entire graph will get killed. Right? Similar across the idea of centrality, which are the most important nodes in a graph for this graph to stand, which are the most important banks. If they close down, the entire banking system will go down. So Jagan, to answer your question, I am from IIT Ropar. I did my PhD from IIT Ropar. Mohit says, should we practice all the programs so as to answer the question if it might get asked in the exam? No, I wouldn't say you at such don't need to practice all the programs or run them on a Jupyter notebook. No, you just take a very cursory look at them, and if there is some function being used again and again, that should be enough. Right? So you need not implement everything as such. So you can focus more on concepts is how I would put it. Right? Not on the exact coding. Saurabh says, kindly share that work, ma'am. Sorry, Saurabh, it is not yet published. I'll share similar works with you, definitely. The similar works have been done over networks of other countries. We have done it on the network of India. So that's the information I got from the lab, not yet published, so can't share that. But I'll share similar works with you on the discussion forum. Now that's the question students ask. You give us important questions for exam. So as such, you see, so Meenakshi tells me, right, she's posting one question daily on the discussion forum. So all of those questions are important. I think one question daily, you have how many questions? So I think that will be sufficient. Right? I'll see if I get an online, if I could sort of get some of the previous year questions, which I'm allowed to share, and I can, so I will do that. Okay, any other question? Meanwhile, I'll give the link to Saurabh. So Saurav, take a look at this. I've posted it in the YouTube chat. So this is a similar work which was done for some other country. Right? It will give you a decent idea of what kind of things you can do on a supply chain network as well. So you see, the ideas are similar. You just borrow them to different directions in to different applications. Give to all. Okay, it's to everyone only on YouTube. I'll give it here. That's not in my hand. You should talk to the NPTEL office for this. See, we are also NPTEL employees, so we teach. Right? So that's not in our hand. I'm not even stating the question, Jagan. So the answer is for Jagan. Something sort of something which I can't spell out loud. Because I think this session is recorded. It will be available live. Good evening, Dheeraj. Any question? Okay, so Meenakshi says regarding the exam center, you can send an email to support@NPTEL. So I'll also put it on the YouTube chat. Yes, Suraj, the joy of computing using Python, it's available on YouTube. You can watch it there. Right? But if you watch it on YouTube, you can't get a certificate for that from NPTEL. I hope you already know that. No, Saurav, I'm not sharing a screen or something. Okay. Jagan, it really depends on for which kind of a company are you applying. So you see, I did my BTech long back in 2012, and we would do one project anyhow. So my BTech is also from a tier 3 college. Maybe I can say that my PhD is from IIT Ropar. I think that in your third or your final year, anyhow, you have to do a project, isn't it? So which you always put in your CV to show that, yes, you have worked on your project. I'm not sure what you can do in 2 months, but definitely, you see, if you do well in this course and earn an elite certificate, you can join us for internship, right? And then we can work on more projects. Saurabh says, can you suggest some literature on social networks for collaborative learning? On collaborative learning. So Saurabh, I don't work in collaborative learning per se, but there is this member in our team, Anamika. She has also recorded some programming screencasts for this course, social networks. So she works on how knowledge is built. So not exactly, I want similar to collaborative learning. So basically crowdsourced platforms. Maybe you can just check her profile on Google, right, and pick up some of the literature from there. Okay, which internship? So I hope all of you are aware that NPTEL offers these internships. So once you take this final exam, and those of you who do really well, basically you have that elite certificate with you, you can do an internship with Professor Anger or me. But that is open for those of you who perform exemplary in the exam. Sure, Jagan, you can send it across to me. I'll take a look at it. Definitely. So you see, you guys, you don't really have to worry from which institute you are. You can always go to any heights. It should not let yourself be limited by in which university you are. It's ultimately about you. So people have done great work from different universities. So don't be worried about that. And you see today, even this idea of university that is collapsing from the time when COVID came. Everyone is on internet and now world is what a global village. Everyone is collaborating. People are collaborating. I see that these boundaries of universities, it is slowly melting away. So you don't have to worry on that part. Do best from your side. Try to collaborate. So those of you who are doing your BTech, maybe an unsolicited advice, you can write this exam. It is called GATE. Some of you might be aware of it. So those of you who are planning to do something in India, so definitely you can go abroad for an MS or a PhD, or you can write this exam called GATE, Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. So those of you who are doing BTech, you can all, it's mostly for you. MTechs can also write that. And once you have that, you can apply for a direct PhD in IIT. So it is something which I did at my time. Siddharth says how much we should score to get the internship. So I guess NPTEL office will give you those details. Right, I hope you guys are already aware of that, or I'll confirm it and let you know. I'm not exactly sure that is there a exact threshold for marks. As far as I know, people who are in, I think, elite category get that. So we'll confirm that and get back to you. Meenakshi, if you have an idea, maybe you can shed some light on this. Okay, Jagan, I'll have a look at that and I'll get back to you.
I shall post about this on the forum, ma'am. I'll get a detailed clarification from the office and then I shall post it on the forum.
Okay, Meenakshi, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Saurabh says top 2% will get with gold medal. So Meenakshi will confirm that and she'll give you all the details about that. Sorry, Kartike, I can't comment on that. I don't have an idea regarding that. And also Rahul says, pursue part-time PhD from IIT. So you see, Rahul, that depends on what is the area in which you want to do a PhD. You have to identify a professor, get in touch with them. It is totally dependent on that. So as compared to MTech, PhD is a very different kind of a degree. So the idea is you do a focused work in a particular research direction. If you're looking for a part-time PhD, maybe you identify what your research interest is. You identify some of the professor at IIT Madras who is working in that area, and you can just get in touch with them over an email or something. You can also look at the official process of how to enroll in a PhD in IIT Madras. I guess they would having a part-time PhD, though I'm not sure of that. So just look up for their website on this. Artificial intelligence, see, that's like a very, what I would say is generic answer. So you have to be more detailed and how do I put it? So artificial intelligence, it's a very broad field. So you should identify one direction or one kind of a project in which you are exactly interested in. See, I have done my research on social networks, but then again, social networks, it has so many concepts that you see in the course. My PhD is specifically into how information diffuses. So there are a whole lot of other things also in social networks. So within artificial intelligence also, you'll have to identify what is the exact problem that you are interested in tackling. And you'll have to align your research interests with the kind of work that professors are already doing there. Get in touch with them, look at the official way of how PhDs are hired at IIT Madras, and then you can make a move. So the idea is just to do some internet surfing. But it's great to see that you are interested in doing a PhD. Right, I'm waiting for more questions. So to summarize for your exam, you'll see the similar questions as we ask you in assignments. The question will be similar in the level of difficulty. The concepts might be different. And then for practice, Meenakshi is sending one question on the forum every day. That will be more than sufficient. For internships, Meenakshi will be sending a detailed email on the discussion forum. Anything else that you would like to discuss? All right, so if there are no more questions, we'll end the meeting. I'll wait for 2 more minutes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I speak?
Sure, sure.
Okay, ma'am. I'm plan to conducting one national conference.
Yes, sir.
So can I put your name or sir and the sir name in international advisory committee?
Sir, I'll request you to send us an email regarding the same, and then we will get back to you. Will
Sure,
that be
I
fine?
will send the mail.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Meenakshi, can you answer this question or help me answering? So Siddharth says that he missed his 2 assignment. I don't know, it means second assignment or 2 assignments. Is there a way to cover that? I'm not sure we really have a way to cover that.
Yes, we don't have a way to cover that, ma'am, but we do have a constraint that we take the best 8 out of 12. So it's better to concentrate on the upcoming assignments.
Okay. Okay, Siddharth, I hope that answered your question. So you don't have anything to worry about, right? So we'll look at your 8 best performances. Gulab says, could you please share that how to reach more people through LinkedIn? Okay, so I don't use my LinkedIn account regularly. How to reach more people through LinkedIn? I can just give you some normal advice. Maybe try figuring out some influential people on LinkedIn, follow them or make them follow you. That will be all the more great. I see. Basically, the idea is if a prominent personality follows you, you'll automatically get more followers, right? Or share some interesting content, some new content which is helpful to people. Right? So I think that will help you reach more people. Okay, so those of you who are like really willing to take the knowledge you earn this course to next level, I strongly suggest you to take a look at this course, Machine Learning in Graphs. So again, I'm just again emphasizing that graph neural network is something which is gaining a lot of popularity, and if you're really looking forward to do some path breaking work, so good course to take. Vidya, I think that forum link is with all of you, right? There is a discussion forum for the course, so I guess all of you are a part of that. So the question comes there daily. So this is a Google forum, the discussion forum. Meenakshi, is there a link for this forum? I think that it's just a Google group, all of them are a part of that.
There's this ask a question tab, ma'am. If they click on that, they'll land up on that discussion forum, and they should click the join group button.
Okay, okay, Vidya, I hope you got your answer. Yes, Jagan, don't worry, I'll get back to you. Harshit says, what is going on? I'm new here. Is there a process to increase YouTube followers? The forum on Google Classroom, it's not a Google Classroom as such, it's a Google group, Siddharth. So whenever you are watching any video, there is this ask a questions tab. You can click on that and then click on join group. I'll send you the instructions on YouTube. Just give me one. So it is on the YouTube chat, how you can join the discussion forum for the course. Ensure that all of you are there. You'll find a whole lot of useful discussions there. So you can ask any kind of question, Gulab, so that's not a problem. But then again, you see how to increase your followers. The recipe for this is still under research. So people are doing a lot of research. Even I'm working in that area. You see, there is this entire domain in social networks, which is called influence maximization. You can take a look at that. So it is used in digital marketing. So the idea is to how to advertise to your best. So let's say you are the CEO of a company and you want to promote a product on, let's say, Facebook, and you can just so the idea is to figure out who are the most influential people. And now it can be any platform. It can be Facebook, it can be LinkedIn. So once you figure out these people and you can reach them, you will automatically become more influential if you can make influential people to follow you. So that is the idea. But then again, you see generic questions, how to increase YouTube followers or Twitter followers. You can just try a whole lot of different approaches there. So I myself, I have my own YouTube channel, but unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of followers. So if some of you have any pre-designed recipe for that, give that to me also. No, Rushika, I'll again emphasize, only assignment questions are not enough for exam. So you should be well versed with all the concepts which are discussed in the video. So there might be some concepts on which we haven't created an assignment question, but you might see a question from that concept in your exam. Ahmed, I didn't get your question. Can you rephrase it, please? Hi, Shubham. Hi. We have 8 minutes left. Please be quick in posting your questions. It's rhyming. Hi, Sky. Yes, Rushika, understanding the content which is there in videos, it is more than enough. Right? You need not strictly follow any reference book. So you see, social network, social computing, it's a very new domain. So some of the people, they say we can't even define what is it because this domain changes every year. There are new research every now and then. So we cannot also pinpoint to a particular book that you can refer. So most of it, what we are bringing you through this course is from research papers and the latest research which was done by that time. The watching videos will be more than enough. Ritik, so this session is about to end. That's what's going on. That's okay. This is a live session for your course on social networks where you get to talk to the instructors of the course, and if you have any questions, you can ask them. Siddharth, so I just mentioned that in the chat. I'll again do that. So to connect to the forum section, this is the way to go. So on your portal, you click on this Ask a Question tab and then click on Join Group. That will bring you to the forum. Right? This forum is nothing but a Google group. So it will be added as a separate Gmail ID onto your system. And then I think you can also take a look at the past questions. I don't know how to react to that. Thank you, Sky. Any other questions? Welcome, Siddharth. So if you guys have any questions, more questions, you can always put them on the discussion forum. No, so you won't see the same question which is asked in assignment. So under no conditions, we are going to repeat the assignment questions. All the questions that you will be seeing in the exam will be new. So even if you get some old questions from previous years, but the questions that you'll see, they will be new. There will be absolutely no repetition with your assignment questions or even with the questions which were asked in this course in the past. I can share my LinkedIn, but I'm really not very active on LinkedIn. I'm not active. So although I do my research in social networks, I'm not active on social media. But yes, if you want, I can do that. Give me a sec. I'm not sure even my LinkedIn profile is updated. So for some, I feel like for you can just search for my name on LinkedIn. So my name is quite unique. You see, you'll only find one ID with this name. I see that we start social media for having some fun, but then soon we start comparing ourselves to people. So I sort of remain slightly away from all kinds of social media. Okay, so if there are no more questions, we'll end this session. Don't know my name. I'm a co-instructor for this course. Know my name. So I'm Yayati. So see, you'll see only, I guess you'll see only one such profile on LinkedIn. Even if you see other profiles would be males. So I guess you'll see only one female with this name. Quite sure of that. Course name is Social Networks. No, Shubham. So this course doesn't use graph neural networks or deep learning, but yes, in future we are planning to come with one such course. But currently this course, Social Networks, we don't use GNNs there. Okay, Ritik, I got it. You're not from this course. All right, my bad. Any other questions? Hi, Yashwant. Guess you came just now. We are about to say bye. So 1 hour is about to finish. So we have 2 more minutes. If you have any questions, please shoot. Let me check on Zoom also. Just Angle sir is at IT Roper only. Jagan. Didn't get your question. Why so? He's teaching there. So Sky. So I think I should tell you. Then my husband is also a co-instructor for one of the NPTEL courses. So it's deep learning. You should stop sending such kind of message because he's 6 feet 3 inches tall. So you should be careful. Okay, so if there are no more questions, we'll end the session. All right. If you have any more questions, you can always write to us on the discussion forum for the course, and we will get back to you. Bye, everyone. Take care. Probably he will, Jagan. So we have more live sessions for the course. Right, so we're handling quite a lot of NPTEL courses. I'm not exactly sure that he will do it, but we will try our best to have him in one of our live sessions. We will keep you informed. All right, everyone. So, Ritik says, yes, Ritik, I have my Git repository. So it's by the name YYT-GPT. Right, so you can find my Git repository there, but I don't have any work related to graph neural networks there. But you can write to me on my email ID, which is yytgpt@gmail.com, and we can discuss more there. Okay, you can also, so if, okay, you are not from this course, you can write to me on Gmail and then we can get in touch. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'll end this meeting now. If you have any more questions, feel free to send me an email or talk on the discussion forum for details. Bye-bye. Take care.